Thank you for your interest in HubShout's email services. HubShout has 4 modules added under the Email tab. One to manage all of your email lists, one to manage email templates, HTML or text, one to configure and manage campaigns, and the final one to manage programs, including the My Customer Review feature. These modules can be used to send out and manage monthly newsletters or weekly newsletters, autoresponder campaigns, as well as our own review and referral email program. The first thing we're going to do is take a look at how to create and set up a newsletter and autoresponder campaign. First, we'll log into the system. And select the Email tab, where you'll see the modules I mentioned: the campaign module, list module, program module, and template module. The first thing you need to do is build a list for the campaign that you want to send out. So in this case, I want to send out a monthly newsletter, so I'm just going to call this my monthly newsletter list. You'll see that that list is now added to my list of emails. The next thing that I want to do is actually create a template. Now, you can see that I currently have a list of several active templates. I'm going to add a new newsletter test template. I'm going to build that email template, and you can see that it now shows up on the list. Now, I'm going to grab a previously used template and enter that into as my newsletter template. Now I've copied a HTML template from a previous campaign, and I'm going to go ahead and save and preview that template. So after saving the template, you'll see that we render the template below, and you can see what it looks like in an HTML format. Now you can also send a test to your own email account in order to see how that might look in an email client. So I'm going to click Send Test Email just to demonstrate that. One other thing to point out is on the left-hand side, we also show available markup variables. So for example, in the subject line, if I wanted to include the first name of the newsletter recipient, I could use the markup value first_name, and when we send that out to the list that we associate the campaign with, it would then substitute in first name in place of this markup variable. Now that we have our template complete, I want to go back to the list that we created earlier and add 1 or 2 sample emails to the list. Now, in this case, you have the ability for each email that you want to add to have an email, a first name, and a last name. I'm going to just put in 1 or 2 test emails. So now, as you can see below, we have 2 emails on this list, monthly newsletter list, Adam and Chad. Now the final thing to do, now that we have a template that we've created and we have a list with emails on it, is to actually set up our newsletter campaign. So we're going to come back to campaigns, we're going to click New Campaign, and we're going to name this campaign our monthly newsletter test. You need to enter where you want the email to come from, so in this case we'll have it come from info@hubshout.com. This is a newsletter type. We also have autoresponders, which we'll talk about in a minute. We want to pick the list that we selected, which is our monthly newsletter list. We want to select the template we created, which is our newsletter test template. Program is not required here. We're sending out a simple email newsletter, and send day would be today for this campaign. So I'm going to click Build Email Campaign. And after pushing build campaign, you'll see here that we see our monthly news test that we just created. I'm going to click monthly news test, and in this case I want to actually go ahead and send this, so I'm going to move the status from draft to active. I'm going to select update. And you'll notice that that triggers the ability to now send this newsletter. So I'm going to go ahead and click send newsletter emails now, and the system's going to return back a status that lets us know that that now has been sent.